Guys, thanks for coming out to Peak Performance. This is the third meetup in the city that I've done, and I'm glad that you guys are able to navigate the maze of the mall to actually get here. I appreciate it. The lineup that I put together today is really awesome. I was able to get 4 speakers who are really interested in being able to help improve the health and physique of your body. This is something that's been really important to me. I've had a tough time doing it, and I know that technology is really the only way that it's actually going to help for myself. So I wanted to take a look at the solutions that these guys are going to present today to see if it's something that would help me, and maybe it'll help you. The first speaker that we have is from a company called Enflux, and they're making smart clothing that will allow you to work out in a smarter, betterer way. And I will introduce the speakers. We have the CEO of Enflux, Hoang, and Chief Growth Officer, Ferri.
All right. Thank you. My name is Doug. I'm the founder and CEO of Enflux, and we're really glad to be here. Very excited. And
I'm Ferri, Chief Growth Officer. Thank you guys so much for having us. This is really exciting. Hopefully you enjoy it too. I think we'll just start by getting right into a live demo. That's usually the best way to show our technology. Basically, what we're developing is athletic clothing. It's a shirt and pants that I'm not wearing now, overall with 10 3D motion sensors built into them. So each of these tiny motion sensors has an accelerometer, magnetometer, and a gyroscope in it, and it does a full 3D capture of your body when you're exercising. So Doug's setting up this little demo right now, connecting me to the phone back there. Not moving. Okay. All right, so I should be connected right now, and you're able to see the full 3D motion of my arms, and also as I bend over, what's going on in my chest. There we go. So this is set up for fitness applications, weightlifting and running first, and with my extremely heavy barbell right now, I'm going to demonstrate how this works for a military press. So I'd be in the gym, I would have set the app to do military press, and then I'd start doing reps. And as I do reps, it's recognizing that I'm doing reps, and not only does it count reps, but because we have the precise measurement on my arm and my chest, it measures a whole bunch of different things. What I'm reporting right now on the app is for each rep how much power I generated, my time going down, and my time going up. And so if you're a coach or a trainer watching somebody train, these are the kinds of things you're looking at. You're looking at their precise form, you're looking at how their angles are changing, the speed at which you're moving the bar. And what we're turning this into is a coach, from an app, is the ultimate vision of this, to really help people, get the feedback they're looking for between sets in weightlifting while they're running, give people audio feedback, and give them just a better workout experience.
Yep. And so we'll introduce you to 2 of our sponsored athletes.
That's right, yeah. So as we're developing this, we've been working with a ton of trainers and elite athletes to ask them basically, hey guys, if you're using this, what do you want to see? And I've got the honor of 2 of our Enflux sponsored athletes back here. This is Ramori Howard, and Ramori is one of the strongest 18-year-old men in the world. He has currently the world record in the deadlift at 639 pounds, and he weighs 198 pounds.
That's 18.
Yeah. And then he also has an American record in the squat, 562 pounds. American record in the bench press, 341 pounds. And then RJ Navarra, not to be outdone by Ramori. These 2 are very competitive guys, and it's great to see them compete against each other wearing sensors. RJ was a 2015 world champion in basically everything in powerlifting in his weight class. He weighs 123 pounds, and he's ranked number 1 in the nation in the squat, 385 pounds, deadlift, 435, and bench, 264 pounds. Working with these guys for the past couple months has been a true pleasure for me, because I really, I ran track and I coached track, and working with these guys, I'm really able to see exactly what they're looking for, and they're able to tell me, hey Mickey, here's what I want to see out of the sensors, here's what I want from the app. So it's working with people like them and also trainers with decades of experience that has helped us figure out how to develop this technology.
Yeah. And so how this all started was, well, first actually, we just launched a Kickstarter, and in 6 days we've been able to raise, well, actually now it's just shy of 80,000, but our goal is 100,000, and we're on track to hitting that goal pretty soon. But this all got started about 3 years ago. My background is in engine design. I was a chief engineer for 2 engine programs. My expertise is in many things mechanical, manufacturing, and so in my lifetime I've designed and brought to market over 1,000 parts. But at the time I was going to the gym, I was having a lot of trouble getting the results I wanted at the gym. I mean, I was also was getting injured, and so it was during the triathlon where we were experimenting with race car sensors that my friend and I were developing, and you can see on the upper right left corner these big honking sensors that we
the first
strapped
crappy sensor we ever put on Doug's body.
So we strapped these things to our body. We got some really good and interesting data from that. But at the time, I was living with Mickey.
Yeah, so I'm a PhD economist, and I come from a background of NBA players. So this is me with a bunch of my really tall family members. The tallest one is Danny Shays. He played in the NBA for 18 years, stands at like 6'11", and we tease him because he didn't make the 7 feet mark. And then this is my grandfather, Dolph Shays, who was one of the early stars of the NBA in the 1950s and 60s. And this is my other uncle, David. I didn't have the height of them, so I ended up running track and coaching track and field after college. So that's a little about my background.
Yeah, but from there, after strapping these motion sensors onto our bodies, with our other co-founder, Eli, who's a rocket scientist and also a certified personal trainer, we thought, okay, what's the next step here? And we started building, iterating, and eventually we got into Y Combinator. We're the current batch mates of this winter.
And we've been a week and a half left of the Y Combinator program now.
And we've been iterating really, really quickly. So you can see a lot of iterations from here. On the upper right corner is where we started, huge sensors, to these little sensors that we've developed that are actually on the arms, torso, and legs. These tiny, tiny little sensors right there. But then we also have electrically conductive fabric that we've designed as well, not shown here, but then the brain unit right there that has the microprocessors, the battery, the Bluetooth, all that stuff.
Okay, so the way the shirt is set up is tiny motion sensors, and this one is wired together, but the final form will be fabric that conducts electric signals. One Bluetooth transmitter in the shirt and one in the pants that each talk to the phone.
Yeah,
and collect all the data from your body.
Yeah, in total 10 sensors. And that enables us to gather full body motion. But from here...
Yeah, so really, I mean, the reason we're designing this is for people who want to get better, results from their workouts. I've, had personal trainers myself. I've manually logged everything I'm doing on pen and paper, and that's just a disaster. Helping people, I don't want to promise injury prevention, but hopefully we get to a point where we're able to help people avoid injuries with early audio feedback during their exercise, like, hey, you're doing the wrong form, or this is too much weight, and we can detect that based on how quickly you're moving the bar. So it's really about getting people results that they're looking for in the gym and automatically logging your progress, which hopefully is going to keep you more motivated to come back to the gym as you can see your results in our online platform.
Thank you. Just a little louder, please.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And so really, we were using a lot of Fitbits at the time, and we're just generally not very happy with the current technology. And so what our technology is different is it measures what counts most in fitness, and that's how your body moves.
Yeah, so with the full 3D body, we're able to calculate pretty much any metric involving your motion. So your velocity, your acceleration, how much power you're generating, like your form, specific angles, and we are creating a better looking version of this interface where you'll be able to select which metric that you want to see, and then it'll show you that metric after each exercise, or just have it all logged during your workout if you don't want to look at the phone at all, and then it would be in the online platform when you get home and want to review your results.
Yeah, so it's just as we really want to create a really personalized and really seamless experience. So it's really all about connecting, it's moving and improving. So put on the shirt and the pants, fire up the app, just like any ordinary clothing, I guess.
Yep.
But fire up that app, the clothing connects to that. And then from there, you're able to, for instance, do a freestyle mode where you can do a 3D motion capture, replay your motion from there, but also be able to select a predefined workout that's tailored to your specific fitness goals, whether it's weight, generating more muscle mass, losing weight, things of that sort. And how it would work is because we're able to analyze his movement, we can count your reps and go from there, determine what type of exercise you should do next, and automate and go to the next exercise. So it's kind of like really a coach in your pocket. And for us after that is getting improvements. And Mika will talk about this.
Yeah, so this is one of the interfaces that a lot of people really relate to, so that's why I'm showing it here. And it's basically, as you're doing an exercise, there's also this like ghost animation, which represents the ideal form for you. So the idea would be, you do the exercise, and then afterwards you can look at it and say, oh, well, in this case, my head isn't going as close to the ground as it should be going. And that's, the way of visualizing the feedback for people.
But first, really, the clothing has to be lightweight, has to be comfortable. And so this is an embodiment of the clothing with the electrically conductive fabric and the tiny little sensors woven right into the fabric, and we can stretch it, and it feels like ordinary clothing, really. And what's also important is, of course, what's good is electric clothing if you can't wash it, right? And so using my expertise in engine design, sealing mechanisms, FEA, things of that sort, we've been able to make this clothing actually machine washable as well.
So like I said before, as we're developing this, working with powerlifters, elite athletes, coaches, and trainers, and we really want to cater to everybody, whether it's a beginner in weightlifting who's looking for advice on which exercises to do, to somebody who really knows, I want to do this exercise, and here's exactly what I'm looking for, and I just want to see that in the app. We have visited over 50 gyms in the area and shown this to tons of people, and the response has just been overwhelming enthusiasm. I get so often from people, this is the product I've been looking for my entire life, and just make it. This is great.
Yeah, now we'll just open it to questions and answers, and also since we're doing our Kickstarter campaign, we are looking for support. We can't do this without you. We've put in over $250,000 of our own money into this and bootstrapped it up until now, aside from Y Combinator. And anyone that orders today will get a free T-shirt, and this is pretty cool. But this is one of the early prototypes for our charging station, and we've made a bookmark out of that. So $30 value, but we would appreciate your support.
Yeah,
any questions?
And afterwards, we're going to have a little booth over there. We have demo units for anybody who wants to try it on and see yourself in the app. We have that set up, and we'll have the Kickstarter page open if you guys want to check it out. And if you order tonight, we're going to throw in that T-shirt and also the bookmark thing.
You mentioned weightlifting, basketball, running, going to 50 gyms.
Yeah.
So that's, they're all exercise, but they're all diverse sort of form factors. And from a software, development resource allocation perspective, how do you map all of those feeds into the software knowledge?
That's a great question. Yeah, so we're going to start with weightlifting and running. And so the Kickstarter is going on now. The initial release is going to be a year from now. And we're going to support weightlifting, running, some plyometric exercises. No other sports like that for the first release. And then, honestly, it's about getting feedback from our users. Where is the demand for use of this thing? We've heard a lot of people who want to use it for yoga. We've heard a lot of golf. So that will be dictated, over the longer run by, what our customers want.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So you guys able to forego wires and like the conductive fabric?
Yeah, the question was, are you able to forego wires? Yeah, we actually have conductive fabric. It's in my backpack, but it's stretchy, has a conductive yarn, and it's part of our secret sauce as well. But yeah, this is right now just wires, but we do have, while our patent goes through, we do have the stretchy conductive fabric that connects all the sensors together.
Go ahead. So you mentioned fall and you mentioned injury prevention. Let's talk about coaching and injury prevention. But have you been able to solve the posture and the spine thing? Because that's always, is it sensitive enough where we can say, okay, yeah, the spine is straight, your active performance great? Have you been able to do that? Because that would be super awesome.
Yeah. So the question is on sensor resolution.
Yeah, I would say not yet, and that's something we're going to figure out during beta testing. We've had a bunch of people try this thing of different shapes and sizes, and with our current form, it's sensors here and here. We may end up including another sensor in a later release of the version, in a later release, on the back or something like that. But that's going to come through testing. It's a great question.
All right. Are you thinking about doing an API for third parties to build any kind of like unique applications, like motion capture? Like this is going to be a cheap motion capture.
I'm going to ask you guys, how many of you would be interested in an API?
Yeah.
If I could program, absolutely.
Yeah. Build your own custom app.
Okay.
And then, wow, one other question was, gosh, I forgot it. No, but that's like that in particular was the primary.
Yeah,
Because it seems like motion capture suits already exist, right? And
at this price point, no.
No, not at
Not at
that's
this
right,
price
not at
point.
this price point.
Yeah.
So it's actually like you could go into doing this for physical fitness, but you can find that like any IP or anything that you create is actually way more applicable to like the amateur market. What about we? Like, we fit, like, right?
Right, yeah.
That's an example.
Yeah.
That's something that.
Yeah, we've been toying around with the idea for an API. We're not
Yeah.
offering it right now, but if there's enough interest, it is something
I
that.
saw like 8 years.
Yeah, I
right?
know. So this is a good learning experience for us too. Yeah.
So, sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is the life cycle? No, because I do wash my t-shirt like 20 times and then it goes to the rubbish. So what's the life cycle?
So the question is on life cycle. So right now, we're working with our manufacturers right now. We're using antimicrobial fabric, so that it eliminates odor, that type of thing. You can prolong the wash cycle. But right now, the sensors themselves, the conductive fabric, and the circuitry, those can withstand way more in excess than 100 washes. What happens is when you start washing the fabric, there's a degradation in the elasticity, but that's currently about 100 wash cycles. But we believe with the antimicrobial fabric, we can actually extend that. And so it's really about proper care and techniques, so such as washing it with cold water, not drying it, that type of thing.
Don't put it in the dryer.
You can put it in the dryer. We expect people to do that, but
Yeah.
try not.
We're going to put a big warning label. Don't put it in the dryer, and then people are going to do it.
But that's what that is. Oh, and then I'll come back to after you. But gentlemen, the
What is the
black
battery life of the charge? The battery life of the charge.
battery life, that's 2 weeks. That's modeled as 1 hour per day of exercise. So for 2 weeks.
And then you just plug it into a USB to charge it.
So you plug.
You can get phase continuous use out of it if you were doing something a little longer form.
Yes.
Certainly,
Yeah.
certainly run a marathon or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just plug in you plug your shirt like an iPhone or something like that, or a phone. Yeah. And then you had a question.
Yeah, I guess two quick ones. First, what are you using to make the fabric you said?
Antimicrobial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can. This is a technology used by Lululemon, Nike. I can go on.
Yeah,
and on. But-
that's what I'm thinking of, because if you use like silver nitrates, then they'll be kind of sort of environmentally unfriendly. So
Right,
I
yeah.
think you're choosing something that
Yeah,
then they use.
Right. It's really, we're working with our suppliers right now, and we want to stay away from silver for sure. That's definitely. And you had another
Yeah, it
question.
was just the whole sort of recyclability part as well. What do I do with it when it's actually when I need to buy a new one?
Right.
Where do I put it?
Oh, where you throw it away? That type.
How
of
do I recycle it?
Oh, recycle it. That's a good question. I'll have to get back. Yeah,
thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Being Swedish sounds sort of kind of curious.
Right. There's possibilities that we could open up like an exchange program or something like that.
I mean,
properly
would I put it
dispose
like
of it.
in the electronics dump place, or where would I put it?
Yeah, it would be just like any typical electronics. I mean, it uses the same PCBs and integrated circuits as like a smartphone or anything like that. So.
Can you say more about the running guidance you cannot make a partial?
Yeah, exactly. So one thing is there's going to be a heart rate monitor in here too. So that'll be useful for runners, especially during like interval training. And then so a lot of it is about balance from side to side, making sure that you're balanced. Your arm swings, making sure those are consistent. We'll measure stride length too. And there's something like about the optimal form that is slightly different for each person. So one of the things that we're looking to do is for an individual over time, monitoring how their form changes as they get tired. And then it's like comparing yourself to how you were doing in the past. And one of the things that really excites me about this project, coming from a data science background, is that shortly after we release this product, we're going to have the largest database of full body exercise data that's like ever existed. So I'm very excited to actually process this data and solve some problems in exercise science that really aren't solved today.
We have time for one more question. Are you planning to, like, what kind of sizes do you have? So is it going to be like grown-ups, children, or?
Right now, for adult males and females, extra small to 3XL.
So are you planning to make like clothes for children? Because a lot of children, they need to be taught how to exercise from the beginning to be really good.
Yeah, that's a great question. He was asking if you were going to make clothing for children. Actually, I did think about one time making a onesie for analyzing form or something.
Bunny ears?
Yeah. But
On Kickstarter now, $249 for the shirt plus pants. And we're going to try to go to market with $399. So you're getting a really great deal ordering on Kickstarter.
all right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
When are you looking to release?
12 months from now, March next year.
All right, awesome, guys.
Thank you, Sam.
But you got to tell me this. Hold on. Tell me. How's the form? Right? Is this
Looking great. Yeah.
I don't know.
We have to demo it.
Yeah. All right, you guys will be able to demo this stuff during the break, which will be right after this next presentation.